SAP is the market leader in enterprise application software, helping companies of all sizes and in all industries run at their best. 77% of the world's transaction revenue touches an SAP system. Founded in 1972, the company pioneered enterprise resource planning software known as ERP. What is the role of SAP ERP in a business? Let's take an example of a restaurant. A customer comes to a restaurant. The supplier takes the order for a burger and informs the kitchen. The cook gets the items from storeroom and prepares the burger. The supplier serves the burger to the customer. Supplier gets the bill from bill desk and gives it to the customer. Finally, the customer pays the bill and leaves. In the above scenario, if any of the item goes out of stock, the supplier will have to go back and inform the customer to revise the order. Now the above scenario explained with SAP ERP in the picture. In this platform, the supplier will be updated with the item availability and its price, which makes the complete process hassle-free while the customer places the order. SAP Careers and Job Opportunities. SAP considered as one of the highly paid jobs. No specific background knowledge or experience required to start your career in SAP. Sales Consultant. Sells SAP products and services to businesses. Functional.
Hello all.
Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Thank you all for joining us for today's webinar. Let me introduce myself. I am Kavya Jyotish from Bloomlabs Infotech. Bloomlabs is the home for innovative learning, and we provide wide range of premium quality services, including but not limited to training, internship, placement, career counseling, and recruitment process outsourcing services, and focused at ensuring full customer satisfaction. Today, we are presenting Energize Your Future with SAP, presented by Mr. Sanjay Patel. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I request everyone to be on mute.
Hey, hi all. Sorry. Hello. Uh, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Can everyone mute yourself, please? Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Thanks all. A very good afternoon. I'm Sanjay Patel here. I'm been. I think you got an introduction of mine. Let me talk about myself. Then, I'm sorry if no. Okay, thank you. Thanks all. So I'm in SAP with SAP from around more than a decade. I think I've been working around different modules like MM, WM, SD, and EHS. I've been associated with MNCs and Indian companies too. So let me start by showing the agenda for this particular session. So the agenda of this webinar is that what is SAP? I will see what SAP is and why there's an SAP, and what are the different modules that SAP has, and how to become an SAP consultant. So, and then we'll have a small session with our HR and the resourcing head, and then it will be followed by a question and answer sessions. In the meanwhile, if you have any queries, the chat box is open. You can put your questions into the chat box, and after this, I'll help you with. I'll answer your questions. I think that's okay. So let me start with what actually SAP is. SAP is one of the, I would say not one of those. It's a number one company in ERP product, wherein the business for the business management and facilities to and the facilities wherein data processing and information flows in the across the organization is very much important these days. So that's where our ERP as a product comes in, and SAP is one of the companies which provides an ERP solution. It is number one company in the world at present. It was founded in Germany in the year 1972, and now it has around more than a lakh in terms of employees, SAP employees, other than the consultants who work for different organizations. And it has its global presence all over the world. So it's one of the that's a reason it is widely used by all the bigger companies like Fortune 500 companies. Okay, so let's see why we speak more about SAP as an ERP, as well as in the market when you talk people, bigger organizations taking SAP as a product, and many consultants or a person who are into this IT looks for an SAP platform for their opportunities in the job market. So, because SAP is a global solution, as we said, it's a all over. It is accepted all over the world, all through, and it has offices. Nearly 50% of the countries in the world has presence, and it does what we say. One of the every 9 out of the 10 Fortune 500 companies have SAP been installed. So it is a global presence. So it's no way that it's why it is called a number one. And the second is, if you see, it's irrespective of business size. It's not only meant for huge conglomerates or organizations where SAP is needed. It also caters to every size of business. Let's take as a startup, or you take a mid-range company, or a mature, very big conglomerate like Tata. So all these companies, if you take an Indian companies, Tata's, Reliance, Aditya Birla, everyone does run on SAP, as well as Google. If you know, they are implementing SAP right now. Okay, they are doing it into phases. Even Google does run on SAP, just for your information. So it's huge, and even the startups, they do have SAP. So I think that's where SAP is, from starting to the mid level to the biggest companies. And coming to business type, I just told you different. As an example, just now, Aditya Birla Group, Reliance, Tata, they do have are into different industry type. So in business type, they do have, and that is where SAP comes in. So it has solution for every industry type, which whether any industry you take in, SAP has its present. Whether it is a banking, insurance, manufacturing, process industry, real estate, whatever you talk, you have SAP has its own presence with an industry specific solutions like IS Retail, S4 HANA. It's for manufacturing. Then you have oil and gas for oil and gas distribution uh, companies. Anything you take, you have there. Then coming to customizations, it requires lesser customization, wherein what does actually customization is. See, every product has its own standard process, and if you want to have a different function, there comes this customization. You change the code such that it works according to your needs. That's what customization. So when you talk about an industry, they has their own set of processes, and when you specifically talk about a company, it has its own processes. Okay, so most of them, since SAP has been evolving every day, it tries to cater all the standard business standards, and it evolves. That's where there's very less need of customization, because it caters to all the industry specific functionalities have been added every day. Now, coming to payback in implementations are faster. Now, what does this mean? The paybacks is something wherein when you give a certain cost, you need to get some returns, right? So if the implementations are building up a software, or implementing SAP does take a longer time, and it does cost you a lot, right? So here what happens is, since the implementation is faster for SAP, the paybacks are also really good. Even from a small startup till the bigger organization. In terms of startup, what they look at is revenue generation, higher profitability. And if you're looking at a huge organization, in terms of profitability, they want a complete picture of what is happening in the organization. Everything has been done through SAP. So they get this easier. So that means the returns are very faster once you start implementing, once the SAP has been implemented in your organization. Coming to the next point is the roadmap. Now, the SAP has defined its own roadmap. What does this mean? So when you, as a customer, tries to implement an SAP, when it has a path of, it has a clear defined steps of implementation, or I would say migration, any project you take in. So, for example, there is a SAP, and there's all different methodology they follow. So they have a great cut steps on what is to be done, when it is to be done, and how it is to be done. Therein, this particular implementations are faster, right? So that's where SAP comes into picture, where some they have a standard 8 months of implementation time. That's where SAP it comes into picture as one of the best companies to implement, one of the best softwares to implement SAP. Now, higher scalability. Now, what does scalability means? Now, let's take an example of me as a person or an organization. Everyone wants to grow, right? So they need to expand their business to different countries or different region or different portfolio. I would say diversification into one product to other product. Nowadays, everyone does that. So for them, if the software is not if the software is an hindrance, they cannot do that, right? But here SAP lets you do that. The scalability from one getting into another business, or I would say integrating with other third-party systems, or expanding your business into another countries, the software SAP does gives you better scope wherein you can scale your operations in terms of business as well as into your system. It is very much easy. Then coming to scalability, functionality, easier functionality, it is one of the best softwares wherein the front end, if you look at the way you perform the operations, business operations. For example, if I take a sales order, punching in a sales order, it's quite easier nowadays. When S4 HANA, there's a new concept product, it has been launched. There's Fiori apps, we call it. Through mobile or through your pad, you can access the you can do run the transaction very smoothly and very easy. It's a very user friendly. Now therein, the end users, I would say the person who actually operates or run this particular transactions, for them it's very easy to learn and they get adapted to each and every screen easily. So that's all are the benefits wherein you look at SAP, and that's where many organizations tends to implement SAP, and wherein there's a huge demand for SAP consultants, because when the product has been sold, they need consultants who really implement that particular product into the organization, right? So that's where we have SAP by SAP. Coming to different modules, right? So let me, before get starting this particular module, let me tell you a small story. I would not say story, but a small case. Let me put you in. Okay, so we have let's take a manufacturing company wherein it produces a soap or any product. Let's take a soap. It's a very simple product for us. Now, for you as a finished product, for a company as a finished product to manufacture soap, what does it require as a basic step? You need people, right? You need manufacturing unit. You need people to sell your product, and you need raw material to manufacture your finished good, and you need certain machines to manufacture the soap. So what happens here is when SAP comes in, so it need to have a particular plan, right? How much is to be produced based upon your demand. So where does demands come in? There's a demand planning concept. And what is to be manufactured, that's where what are the different products you sell in, and how do you manufacture, wherein you have this production planning. So what SAP does is it tries to cover up all the different aspects of your business, starting from each department. If you say sales department, manufacturing, procuring, okay, and human resource, finance, paying your customers. So when I have this, so let's suppose I need 3 raw materials. So I need to procure. From whom to procure, negotiations with your vendors, at what price you want to. So how much is the demand? And when you talk about the procurement side, when you sell it, whom you are selling, how much for how much you are selling it. Coming to procurement, manufacturing, how much to manufacture, how much to manufacture quantity of 100 units. What is the raw materials I need? So everything has been covered into this particular module, wherein all this bin is integrated. Okay, so data flows very smoothly, and everyone knows what and how. Okay, so
I have a question, sir, Sanjay sir.
Yes.
Sudhakar here.
Yes, Sudhakar. But what I suggest, Sudhakar, we have another separate question and answer session. I think if you can type that in your question, or else I'll take your question once I finish my slides. I hope this is fine with you. Sudhakar?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So once I finish my slides, my presentation, I will be ready to take your question. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Right?
Yeah.
So so these are the core modules in SAP. Not only this, there are many other modules, but when you run a business, these are the core modules wherein with this you can start your operations as an organization. So financial accounting, controlling human resource, sales and distribution, procurement, production planning, quality management, ABAP, and basis. Okay, so finance accounting. So it caters mainly with your general ledger, your payables, account payables, whom to pay the vendors, your receivables, from where you are to get your payments, your asset accounting. Uh, so this has been done through module called FI. We call it financial accounting, and then there is controlling. So this caters to functions like your cost center accounting, profit center accounting, product costing, which is one of the very important topics in manufacturing unit, the profitability analysis, how much profit from where I'm getting. That all can be done through this particular two modules called FICO, or we call it FICO normally. Then this coming very important one is the sales and distribution. If you don't sell, you don't get your revenue. So this is one of the vast modules, and there's a lot of demand always with sales and distribution. So it caters to your customer master data, customer management, your sales of your product, your contracts with your customers, whether that particular what prices you're buying, everything has been done through your sales and distributions. Then your procurement part, when you manufacture something, you buy your raw material. So anything which is bought for your organization, either it is a product or it is a services, would be handled by materials management. So the procurement part and the inventory management task. Okay, what does inventory is? Your what we call where you place how much quantity is left, and what material where it is placed, and has all been handled by inventory management. And your invoice verification, that means your payments that needs to be done to your vendor. Then coming to human resources. So human resources, see, every organization needs manpower to run it, right? So what is whom you have recruited, what type of employee he is, and contract, or he is an permanent employee, what is his salary, his or her salary, employee benefits, right? All these particular details, and your salary run on a monthly basis, everything has been handled through HRM. And coming to project systems, okay, this is a unique module wherein this has specifications wherein you need to have projects. Okay, so let me take this as an example. You have real estates company wherein you handle projects in different locations. So anything which you buy, you sell, okay, maintenance, everything is been done to that particular project. So it separately acts as a cost center kind of thing. Okay, so that's where this project systems is also been taken care in SAP as a different module. It's been any person who is into product systems knows most of the other modules, because it's been quietly integrated with all. Okay, those were the functional modules. There is also another function modules like production planning, quality management, and other modules are also there, which caters to your production part. What are the production orders? How much you produce? What you produce? What quantities of raw materials you need? What are the routing? Everything stuff is being maintained over there. Now, as per your function. Now this as a technical. Now everything there's a functional, but when there is a need of customization or maintenance, like in an organization you have your admin department who take care of all the all the maintenance of your offices, your needs of your desk, and everything has been fulfilled on a similar basis which takes care of your installation and configuration. Starting from your SAP implementation, it takes care of installation, your maintenance of your databases and your servers. Then the most important thing, the security like roles and authorizations which are needs to be taken care are been done through basis by have been done by basis consultants. And if you look at ABAP, ABAP is like a core module wherein all the customizing, writing a code, you do this through ABAP language. Okay, it's more like a Java kind of language, wherein you develop your reports, tweaking logic into your business function. All has been done through ABAP. So not only this, there are others, but these are the core technical modules which every company needs for us to run a particular run the business. All right. So how to become a consultant? Now everyone has this. Now we saw what actually SAP is. Okay, why we need an SAP, different modules we saw in SAP. Now the next main question is how we can become an SAP consultant. Okay, so SAP considered it's for initially there's first of all let me tell you this that SAP consultants are one of the highest paid consultants in the market in an IT industry. And to get into this, there's no specific background knowledge we need to learn SAP. To be very frank, there's no background specific requirements you need. But yes, if you are for example, an MCA graduate, then getting into a technical modules would always be preferred, because that's where you understand the things better than getting into a functional modules. And graduates who are into like MBA or who has done their BCom or MCom or can get into, or supply chain who has learned supply chain as an subject can get into the functional modules like your sales and distribution, metals management, and plans, production planning kind of modules. They can always get into it. Right. So having a prior experience, like for example, if they have a hands-on 1 or 2 years of experience, that would be really good. But it's not an hindrance. That actually gives you an edge over others when you get into it. All right. So this is how you can get into SAP. But the main main thing is you need to know either one or two modules, whichever you feel comfortable based upon your background, right, or your experience, whatever you have it. So that's all from my side. If you have any queries, we can have questions.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Yep, thank you.
So if anybody has got any questions, you can submit it on the in-call messages here, and it will be addressed during the question answer session. So that was Sanjay who has given us the session. He is a certified SAP principal consultant with hands-on experience of more than a decade, and have completed 24 end-to-end implementation of SAP projects for various MNCs across US, UK, Germany, and India, with special focus on SAP R3, HANA, ISR, and AFS. So Sanjay, now let's begin with answering the questions which I have received.
Yeah.
A small reminder to everyone, you can still submit the questions in the in-call messages. So Sanjay.
Yeah. Just a minute. Right. So there was Sudhakar. You had this: is certification mandatory? Okay. So to get the job, so I think HR would be the right person to answer this. The question. As per my experience, I think SAP is not certification is not mandatory, but HR would be the right person to take this. And then there is another question: can an end user become an SAP consultant? Definitely, they can become an SAP consultant because they have a prior hands-on experience on the transactions, whatever they do in terms of their work profile, because they know the terminology. It's very easy for them to understand. And always, yes, companies try to prefer a person who has prior experience working on SAP. Either he is an consultant or an end user. So that's your second. And then there's another question from Sudhakar Challa. Integration means, yes, it's one of the best questions here. Okay, let me tell you this. Integration is wherein, see, me as an let's suppose when I gave you an example of a manufacturing unit. Now production people are there, they are sitting and they need to manufacture a particular product. How do they get that information? What is to be product, what is to be manufactured, and how is to be manufactured, right? So they get this information based upon what type of product it is. It could be a on order product, or it could be just a on demand basis they produce it. Okay, there is one integration happening between your MRP, that's materials requirement planning, and the production department. Another example, okay, let's suppose PP production department has got that we need to produce material X with quantity 100. Now, when they do this, they need a raw material, right? They have this 10 to 15 raw materials needed to produce that material. Now, without raw material, how do they produce? So how this information is been passed? This information is passed to the metals management procurement team, or I would say metals management module, saying that, okay, there is a demand for material X for 100 quantities, wherein I need material A, B, and C to manufacture, right? So they don't have this. So automatically there is a purchasing indent that is created, or I would say in SAP language, purchase requisitions are created automatically. There's a and that is visible to your procurement department. So on a daily basis, there's a background job that runs, and they say, okay, there is a need of this. Let's produce this. They procure this particular materials. So this happens automatically in the system. So the different modules are talking to each other. Data is flowing from one module to other. That's where you have this facility.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I am clear. Okay, then they have Likit DR. I have experience in executive assistance, which was in working as research and development plus manufacturing. So which module is suitable for next process? I think Likit will talk to you in person, okay? I'll talk to you more on this, and we can understand more. And if you can call us or drop a mail, we will get in touch and explain you on this. So we need a bit more to talk on this to understand what was actually your profile, right? By saying, then we have Binesh K. His graduation is necessary to get a job in SAP field. I suggest yes, graduation. At least a graduation is good enough. Like a BCom, BSc is good enough for us to get into an job into SAP field with good business knowledge and hands-on good SAP training. It's not hard and fast rule that either you have to be a postgraduate or a PhD holder to get into it, right? If you are a graduate, yes, you are rightly eligible once you get trained into a module of your experience. Likit DR, you said, okay. Are there any questions? If you want, we have another 5 minutes. I think we can take up questions, or else we can proceed with the next shift.
Okay, it looks like we have covered all the questions for now. Okay, so if anybody has got any more questions, I think one more question we have got from Likit.
Yes. So yes, diploma is also good enough. I think we can also go ahead because there's a polytechnic is one of the kind of a diploma, right? So they are eligible for engineering. So they actually say 1 year into engineering. So we need to check what type of diploma. Somehow we are going to you are going to write a mail, or our team is going to get in touch with you. We can also take up this particular what type of diploma you have done, right? Okay, so it's yeah.
Uh, okay, we'll wind up the question section for now. If anybody has got any other questions, don't hesitate to mail us. We'll be happy to reply you all. So thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's start with the second session, which is the direct interaction with HR and resourcing head, Ms. Pooja Dhamangi. So a quick intro about Pooja Dhamangi, who as the resourcing manager brings in over the 10 plus years of expertise in hiring, resourcing and placements for small, mid-sized and multinational companies and industries, including technology, banking, healthcare, marketing and financial services, with a track record of placing more than 150,000 candidates during her career. So now Ms. Pooja will discuss about the current market trends and opportunities. Pooja?
Well, Kavya. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for the introduction, Kavya. And I hope everyone have, gone through the overview which Sanjay has, explained y'all. And I hope y'all have understood what y'all should be choosing or what y'all should opt for the training. So thank you, Sanjay, for the overview. And I would start with certain basic things here. Most of them have a question as in, is SAP a good career for freshers? And I would say yes, it is a good career for freshers, because a lot of SAP hirings are happening in all the organizations across the industries. So it's something which you should be enrolling yourself, be it for the training and then certification, and then you can start your career as a fresher. So most of the organization do not actually intend to send an email or anything stating that there is an SAP hiring going on. So what they do is they actually open this, share the link to everyone and mention that the openings are there for freshers. So y'all can just apply for the jobs over there, but however y'all will get to know what technology you will be working only once you are in the company. So this is one way, and the other way is getting yourself trained and then applying for the jobs for whichever modules you are interested in. Okay. So, however, the questions I would be, replying to you all post this session. So you all can just, put across your questions there, and I can take it up later. So there's another thing as in SAP freshers and job vacancies. Yes, there are a lot of job openings happening, as I told y'all. So many organizations do keep, asking people to apply for SAP jobs, and at the same time they would be asking if you all have any kind of end user experience, or if there is a certification or a trained resource. So this is something which usually all the organization check. So of course there are a lot of job opportunities and vacancies across India and globally for SAP consultants. And the current SAP modules in demand are, some of the functional modules which are basically in demand as of now is FICO, MM, SD, PP. We have even HCM and SuccessFactors, but not so much. But these are the main things. And apart from this, it's in technical, it's SAP ABAP and basis where a lot of companies are hiring as of now. So this is something, and maybe there are sub modules which you all will join the organization and you'll have to explore it and then get into a different sub module and all. So coming to other question is other thing is is SAP certification necessary? It is, it's purely up to you. But however, I would say is yes, it is kind of necessary, because you would get a job based on your certification, and you will get a real-time experience as well while enrolling yourself for this training, and you will undergo a lot of other sessions here. You will get to learn a lot of things, and then you will be a certified consultant. So you all would have a better knowledge than the people who have just undergone simple training. So yes, of course, it is some kind of I could say that it is kind of required or necessary there. Apart from this, I think I have some questions which Sudhakar has put across. So it's like getting a job for fresher is difficult. So it's not as in difficult. It's just up to you. Because the reason is you should be understanding which module you have, got enrolled for, and what you would want to go further into. And if you are able to do that, you will have to actually give certain kind of interviews. And it's not that in the very first interview you would be selected. So it's purely based on the experience, whatever you have. However, I would say that if it's a functional consultants, it's something like good if you would have end user experience, and it gives an added advantage of some months or some years. So it's not difficult though. It's just that you should be open to relocate to multiple locations, because getting SAP jobs, it's not difficult. But the thing is, most of the jobs are like in north, south, east, west, all across pan India. But the problem is people are very restricted, and they keep telling that no, I do not want to go to such location, I do not want to go to that location. The thing is, like, as you are looking for a job, you should be open for the location as well. So I don't think it is difficult to get a job. It's just that you will have to give a try and start applying for such jobs. Anyone else? Any other questions? Am I audible?
Hello. If anybody has got any interactive questions, or if you want to ask any doubts or questions, feel free to ask now. You can unmute and ask now.
Okay, so Likith has come up with technical and functional difference. So I think Sanjay would be the better person to explain on this technical and functional difference. But however, it's like, I can give the basic overview of this. So technical, yes, Sanjay, you can
Yes.
take it.
Yes, yeah, sorry. Likith, so the main difference between technical and functional would be in technical modules. If you choose ABAP, for an example, there will be a bit of coding to be written, like writing codes for a functionality, like writing reports for forms, or any enhancements wherein you need a particular functionality. Like I would say, I'm trying to give you a good example. Let's suppose a function, if I create a sales order, okay, let's suppose I create a sales order for a customer. You have an email to be generated, okay, this is standard functionality. But along with the email, you need in that particular email, you want your own set of information to be passed. And how do you do that? You write a code, okay. So that's where your technical things come up. Whereas in functional, you don't write code, okay. Your main objective would be understanding the business in terms of sales and distribution, how the sales and distribution, what are different functionalities of that particular module. If I take that, then talking to your business. I would say your client understand what is their requirement, whether that requirement is been satisfied with your SAP as a standard, or you need a customization or writing a separate code. That has been taken care of by a functional consultant. So he or she does an interaction. He needs to have an interaction with your business as well as your internal team members quite often to understand what, and you configure the system as per the business need. So that's how functional people come in. Technical, as I said, there's a lot of enhancement coding that needs to be done, changes in your standard process if there is in need of enhancement. Who does this? The technical people does this. As well as, this is in terms of example I given as an ABAP. But if you take another technical example of basis, the basis people, they do a lot of background like installations. They do security writing, creating roles and authorizations for a specific profile like procurement profile or production profile. They do that all. So these all are technical. And there is also, if I take another example of technical thing, integration between systems, how they do it, what type of codes they need to write. All these are been done through technical. So that's where the difference is. I hope I'm clear. Okay.
Thanks, Sanjay, for that. And we have another question from Kanha, which is like, what about the future of SAP?
Okay, this is another good question. Future of SAP. SAP is on a daily basis, or not daily, I would say on a yearly basis, its market share is always increasing. Okay, so SAP is coming up with new products. They have got into cloud computing. They have cloud solutions now. They have CRM solutions. They have every solution now they are into. So the market share is always increasing, and the demand, I would say, actually, if I would not have got this, I would have taken interviews to my companies today. So there's a lot of demand. As HR was telling, a lot of vacancies. The only thing is making a right decision at the right time will actually lead you there. So we have another question. What makes SAP different from other customizable ERP solution in the market available right now? Yes. Okay. So they're different. Oracle is one of them. SAP is there. Then we have JD Edwards. We have, to name a few, as an example, different ERP. At the end, they do all the same. They create the sales order. They do production orders. They create any business process. They do it. Yes. But the thing is, the way they do it, okay, there are many factors to look into. Whenever a particular business, take a decision to buy a particular ERP product, there are not just one factor that is been considered. Cost is taken into consideration. The scalability, what I was telling in my slides. The global reach, whether you get that consultant to do that business, to that functionality is also one of the important factors. How, in terms of security, how good that particular product is it not hackable very easily? These are many different things. How to use it is also one of the important aspects that needs to be taken care. So these all are things that's where SAP comes into picture, and and every factor you take into consideration. Yes, only in one thing SAP lacks is it's quite it's not that cost effective compared to the other ERP. But yes, other than that, SAP is way ahead than other ERP products. That's the reason it is a market leader now in terms of ERP solutions. Okay. Then we have, as per SAP, it is all depends on warehouse work. No, if you can rephrase it, I think we should do that. So we can take this, Likit. Somehow we are going to talk to you on this. Once you contact us, we'll take up this particular question also. Then we have Kanha, which module is good and huge vacancies now and in future also. Okay, now if you have listened properly, I said they are not the modules which I shown you. I said there are other modules too. Okay, so the ones we've said are the basic. I would say they are the skeleton. I would say as in product. So they are always in demand. They are always in demand, and once you know the core module, like I started my training. Let me share my story here, since we have another 5-10 minutes. Let me share my story. I was an procurement executive, but there was not proper guidance when I wanted to start my SAP career. I learned SD. Okay, and when I learned SD, I never got a chance to work on SD. I was working on I was trained on MM, because at that time, the company wherein I was hired, there were no consultants. So I got to learn MM. I learned it SAP well because I knew SD, because I know the basic how SAP works, right? So that's how I got into WM, wherein I got into EHS. It's see, once you know the base modules, right, then you can get into. So SAP is SAP and machine learning and artificial. So that's where your future, your huge vacancies for core modules are always there. Take it, PP, MM, SD, FICO are always there. Yes, let's take WM. There's another not core module, I would say. It runs parallel with MM. So WM doesn't have that vacancies than compared to MM. So always I say, if you want to start your career, start with the base module and then you get into another modules, right? So Bijit Balan, is SAP and machine learning and artificial intelligence interconnected? No, they are not interconnected. So see, machine learning, what it does, so let's take an example. So I have a business case here. When I was implementing for one of my customers, there's something called contracts, right? So basic is your contracts. Machine learning, it helps you to take decisions for the system. Okay, for example, you can quote my contract with a particular customer. When it gets expired, we have a standard functionality in SAP wherein it tells you, okay, that it is getting over when you run this. But machine learning, what it does is it does enhance that particular functionality and give you notifications beforehand. Okay, so it will give you an extra information based upon the data what it looks into the system. So machine learning can be added as an enhanced functionality on your core business, right? Then we have Kanha. Is it necessary for learning multiple modules? No, it is not necessary for you to learn multi-modules when you want to get into SAP. Yes, based upon demand, if you are really good at, if your company needs it, and if it is on you, whether you want to learn different modules, that's all upon you. Yes, it's always has an added advantage. If you are a multi-module consultant, then always you get work. There's nothing that you don't have work. Either this or that, you always have on options open. If you don't have vacancies for MM, you can have there is a need of SD consultant. You know SD, get into that project. What will be the duration period of SD? 30 days is a normal 30 days is a normal training we can complete normally, not we or any other. If you want on a daily basis, 30 days is enough to learn SD. I would say not only SD, MM also can be taught, FI can be taught. The only depends on this 30 days how good you practice that. It's not, see, to complete a module, it's not mandatory. Anyone can complete it in 30 or 90 or, but 30 days is a good time. But learning is also how much you are putting efforts once you learn to practice. That is also does matter. So some people will complete that, understand everything in 30 days, and some will take more time or less time, depends upon this speed. When course will start, I think HR would be the right person. This is not for promoting. We are just trying to, get since everything is a lockdown here, we need graduates who need certain help. So that is the reason this webinar has been conducted, not to promote ourselves. If you right, so if you want, HR will get in touch with you. We are there to help on that. That's where we are here. I'm learning PP myself and hope so got the job soon. Thank you. Yeah, all the best, Kana. But learning PP is, if you have good manufacturing experience, you can understand the different functionalities of PP. Or else, I suggest to get a better understanding of how the system integrated. If you want to learn wherein PP is integrated with your MM, I would suggest you take a course that will really help you to fetch your job sooner, because you need to always have to clarify your doubts. So that's my suggestion. I think we have passed our 5 minutes of this, so let me close it. If you have
Okay. Great. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Sanjay. So everyone, if you have got any queries or any questions, don't be hesitate to mail us. We'll be happy to help you all. And if you want the participation certificate, do contact us directly or submit the form that has been attached in the in-call message. So on behalf of Bloomlabs and our presenters, I thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.